Okay, I read this before, but I'm going to try to keep it to an ACX level and post it. It'll be quieter than the others, but I want to do this because I want to have my coffee and, I don't know, just have my coffee and read. So it's early. It's like just after 7 a.m. is my first cup of coffee, and I'm coming alive, but I want to read early because I want to get it done because I want to do stuff today. So, namely walk the pups and listen to this because I think I'm going to try to keep it at a more mellow range today. So, summer in the city. The building hummed. Air conditioners fastened high. They bulged from the windows. The landlady, away from her desk, body built new. Her birds watched while a younger man lay beneath her sex. She finished and he left. He was one of three. The need for love erased by her now, her body strong beneath her age. Morning runs, food cooked only from health. As the weeks grew hot, she ran at night. The building full now, with the exception of the top floor, where Arya and the stranger lived, and always the place between them. The last tenant had died there, an old man, shut himself in and cut the walls apart, pulled up the floor for no reason, and destroyed all lines of electricity and plumbing. Renovation was put off, and the place was simply forgotten. But, just as important as mic placement and your room treatment for me, what's more important, just as important, I should say, is the placement of the book or the tablet or the laptop or whichever device you use to read. Now, I find that if I have my laptop a little bit flat, right, like a little bit, when I read Whitman, the book was almost flat on my desk, like I like to read. I don't like have a totally straight neck when I read. Like some voice actors will be straight up and down, or they'll stand, which I can understand that too. But I think for me, my most comfortable mode is just in my chair, one hand on my desk, one hand in my lap, and reading, looking down into the page like you do like in a coffee house or at the leisure of in your own home. Anyway, I thought I'd say that to remind myself my laptop is it's a little stand, but it's pressed down and is tilting outward and almost flat, but well, as flat as a laptop can get. So, okay, here we go. The young man gone, her behind the counter, her birds calm, her nose in philosophy. Had she known life was like this, she reached back through time and wished her husband murdered years ago. A child of the city, true blood now. Yeah, I really like this. There's something relaxing and calming and quieting about having the text below me and not above me where I'm looking up. And I know one narrator who I've seen before on social media, and she has her screen way above her and she looks up and reads, and I get that. I do. But I think for me it's just everybody has their own thing. So I like this. Up to me, I'd have a big Whitman size. This is a big book. The Whitman book. It's like probably, 8 by 11. And I just like the big open page and the great spacing, the kerning. Everything is perfect for narration. If I ever do I'm thinking about printing out all my books in this size. I would even invest in print-on-demand place like the Book Patch or Amazon even, just to get one author copy. I'd have to lay it out though, but I would. I do something else besides Amazon. I would do print-on-demand like the Book Patch or whatever, and I would get a big. I would resize the text and the margins, and I would order a book this size, just one of each. And I would read from those. I'd probably do hardbound. It'd be expensive, but it would be worth it to me to have a narration set. I could put on my desk flat, open it, and there's no reflections either from paper. So anyway, okay, so where was I? I really like this. It's comfortable. I could even just do this and save the money. I mean, I'm talking about way down the road with a new 87, or, I had my eye on a Gefell MT71S, which is just an amazing German microphone too. It's like a narrator's secret, and it's only, well, I shouldn't say only, but it's like $1,500 or so. And, oh no, it's transformerless, and where the 87 has a transformer, this is transformerless, and I would like to try it. I'd like to own it. $1,500 microphone. I'm just thinking out loud this morning, forgive me, and let's walk through this together. Aria. Summer brought late light to her. Quilt over glass slid to the side, the light from out there breaking in the open door while she showered. Her thoughts with the water. She was hated by God. The city had named her, and she was alone. On days when the sun shone late, she wondered about the years in front, the faces in the city. They saw her, a statue that moved. Her heart older in the morning, out of the shower, foot to floor, the creak. In her closet, she found her clothes, another night of the stage. When she would tire of it, the city paid her more. In the mirror, her face, the only place without ink, and she knew she was done with it. Her walls complete, the tomb for her father. She dressed, left the quilt the way it was, and locked her door. At the hallway end, she turned. The light from the apartment at the end of the hall, a shadow behind it, from feet to the hole in the center. She remembered only then the man who lived there, and she let the thought go. He pulled back when the hall door closed. Aria in the lift, his mind clear of all plans. He had learned how while he waited for the city to pull him in. Something else about this positioning is, for some reason, the sentences slow down and the space between them slows down. And I'm learning here, understanding that just one pause with one nanosecond into one word, or how you stretch a word, or how you delay a comma or speed up a comma, really affects how each story gets told. So anyway, midnight, lift to lobby, landlady watching him walk, her stare seasoned. At the counter they talked of summer, her new life noticed, paid compliments from his smile. He let the redbird bite in, and he walked into the night. She swallowed him with her stare, and the phone rang. One of her three, asking for an hour with her. She hung up and took her birds inside, readied her bed. Like somebody once told me, slow is smooth and smooth is fast. And words like, the little words I'm picking up on, like, I read this so many times in practice, well, like now. One day I'll pull the trigger and really read this for Audible. But words like readied and up top, a little higher when it said, destroyed all lines of electricity and plumbing. Both of those words, readied and electricity, are like glue. I couldn't say them separately from the word preceding and following. But with this, in this mode, I can. So it's kind of cool. Okay. 2 shots, a pint, and a tall Jack Coke down the road. Later than usual. His mind blank. His mind thinking about the city in the summer. Buildings ripped down by light. They reflected the sky, and he knew he was never leaving. He was never leaving alive, and the city used it for blood. The bartender, beads of sweat. The stranger watching the people there. The city packed itself in summer. He sat and drank. Calm. Something in his heart, and he had felt it from Aria, from her place while she showered. He had felt it. A bet a gambler would make, the share he would take. How he would put up the bet would mean the hand. The city at night. A gamble. When being hunted, the longest living prey knows the history of the hunter. When it hunts hungry, it could falter. Confident, it would lose the share. This is really good coffee, too. I grinded up my usual, and my espresso machine took a dive on me, so I just use the Mr. Coffee, and it has a program on it, and so I set it for 6:30 a.m. when I went to bed, and I woke up to a fresh pot of coffee. No waiting, no grinding, and I was like, oh my God, I forgot how great this was. I did this mode in Tennessee, so okay, here we go. Aria off the stage in the back room, dressed and out the front door. The stranger stood, dropped his tab on the bar, cleared it clean with a 20 on top. Arya walked west. He waited, and he walked east. Arya, walking the blocks to leave the night on the stage. In summer, she would walk west past the building, stop at the edge of the quarter, then walk back around the blocks. The circle back home would put her in the lift just before dawn. The stranger, his mind empty, his thoughts on the beauty of the night, a child of the city, forever in awe, he played the role. The air, the moon high and warm, the faces of the night, rough and beaten, his stare through them to keep them from exchange. The time and night, the exact date of back then, when he had stood in front of the bar across the street, the darkness, punctuated by a shadow. Where his love had gone, he had asked the air, and the city had answered him. Arya, the end of the quarter, her walk back up the blocks, the stranger moving, opposite for the building. From above, they were walking the figure of the blocks, away from each other, to meet at the same door. Either corner rounded. Arya, 4 blocks up, her figure. Another block, and he would send the thought skyward. The old man in the field pulled to his knees. The bars had closed their doors. The people headed back, the streets empty of those with places. Pulled to his feet, neck raised to rooftops. He gripped the blade down his side, listened, and moved to hunt. The stranger, a block from Arya, stalling his steps, his mind on her, his thoughts on her hair, her eyes, how he would crush her heart with a kiss. Her long ghost up the block, out of his mind on the street, her ghost being fleshed, his mind on her in the world. Behind her, the shadow moved with no bones. 2 blocks behind her, the stranger watched over her shoulder, the shadow running. It ran east to catch her. It ran against time the wrong way. A gamble, his, the old man. When a ghost must hunt with the flesh of another, when it must gamble. Confident it would falter. Taken by surprise, it would lose the share. The stranger, high ground, above him constricted air, a wind wanting to blow him off the street without exposing itself. The old man pulled to his feet in the field just moments ago. It was on him alone. Torso leaned out, running the street, the stranger walking up on Arya. The stranger walking up on Arya. The old man losing ground, the city waiting. The stranger moving toward Arya within, her face clear to him, the shadow moving, the stranger counting the speed, his thoughts skyward, his arms around Arya. The shadow fleshed, the old man, teeth bared above the blade pulled. Somebody had come to pluck their flower. Do it again, son. This time keep his head for fun. 4 feet from Arya, the face from her, the man she had seen twice in the city. It came to her there, sideways shadow of the wall and hall, up into his eyes, deep. Her mind going to work, he was there for something in his heart, eyes deep, cobalt over hazel. Behind them, darkness, not for her, for everything after her, for what was before she could only guess. Hair blown back dark, stressed by obsidian. He was not part of there. He was part of her. Arya, footsteps behind, a shuffling. Turned around, the old man, teeth and blade. First time she felt fear in the city. Overhead, wind ran around the corners of the building. Wounded wolf howl. The old man to push past Arya and take the head. The stranger, Arya in his arm, safe. The old man off the ground, lifted by his throat. The stranger let her go. Life leaving the old man in that moment. He thought about the field. The stranger stared into the old man, shook him by the throat, and the blade fell to the street. The old man, his body working backward toward death, hanging half broken. The stranger looked at Arya. Her look took its place, and when he looked back into the old man, his eyes told him he would live, and he would only live to tell the city it would lose her. He tossed the old man aside. When his elbows hit the ground, he reached for the blade. He ran off the block screaming, buried it in the heart of the first man he saw. Arya, up into the eyes of the stranger, safe from her own heart. Her face against his arm, he opened the building door. Lobby. Landlady having sex behind her door. He raised an eyebrow and Arya laughed. She counted the years behind it. In the lift, up into his stair, his hand raised hers to see her ink, the black hearts. He stared into her, his smile, nothing there but information. Put her hand down and spoke the first words. He let her know her demons were dead. They only had to die once. Out of the lift, he slid the cage closed. Into the hall, he walked her to her door. She opened it, and she took him inside. So I'll stop there. I might read a little bit coming up. There's a couple of paragraphs. I think I'll read these two last paragraphs and then stop because it's getting on in the day, and I feel pretty good. Meaning I feel pretty good with this session. So I'll read a little bit. I want to get back to the chapter I just got done reading, but I'll read these two first, just for pacing, I guess. Here we go. Precinct. The detective alone. Scattered desk, cold cases, one new. Hot outside. A night of no sleep, tonal. Something not right out there too long. Pinned. Photos of the dead to the board. Highlighted case notes. No connections, no through lines. Random bodies without sense. This new one. A body, no head. Male, breastplate and lungs destroyed by a blade. Heart scrambled. Dead at night. Fingerprints in the system. Young man walking home from tending bar 4 blocks from his work. Running the marker over the map, the blocks of the quarter. Pattern without purpose. Each murder connected only by storefronts, in the alleys dividing them. The kills were in circles. 4 buildings, their sun, they orbited the quarter, and the murders floated 4 blocks. Back to his chair, stared at the board. The woman, that case to haunt him still, out of place, the transplant, no business being in the quarter. An administrator, blue doll eyes, face of an angel destroyed. The cases between, all of them, and the last one before this one, the fat man who managed the apartment building. Paperwork, phone calls, digging. Dug down, hit the only connection, faint. The holdings company. The tenants who paid, the post office box. No discrepancies, no complaints. Taxes clean. List of tenants of employees. Roll the dice, run the financials without a warrant. His people were happy to help. Push came to shove, he would sit on the records and find a judge, as if it were a new idea. The pretty girl with the tattoos and her paychecks. The dead manager below her, now the bartender. Okay, I'm going to stop there for good. In fact, I'm going to close this file out because I don't want to be tempted to keep on reading. Now, here's the thing. I want to go back to chapter 13 because when I wrote this book, I think because I was in the mood to try something so different than anything else I'd written or read, frankly, I wanted to try this book for a couple of good reasons. And when I wrote it, it was almost like writing a staccato poem, if that makes sense. I mean, it should make sense. It's basic, but it's almost like it was the most unstructured, disciplined structure I've ever had. There was freedom within the emotion between lines, but there was a subconscious discipline of line length and just punchy sentences. Short, punchy, but also malleable and dreamy. It was a really strange book. It was a bizarre experience writing this. And when I wrote chapter 13, that was a really pivotal part of the book for me because the entirety of the book was going to be about the stranger and the dancer, and they were never going to meet. It was all going to be like just pure restraint. And it got to be after 12 chapters of doing that. I mean, doing that for 12 chapters long, and that some of these chapters are pretty short, so I'm not trying to say it was that grueling, but emotionally it was. And I don't mean emotionally like I really want these two to meet for the sake of the story. I meant emotionally because I was getting bored, and that's the cardinal sin. And I never got bored, officially bored, but I was getting to the point where I might have started getting bored, is a better way to say it. And once that happens with any kind of work I do, that work is done. At least it's shelved while I think about it. But this was something so powerful to me because how long can you do a book that where really nothing, I mean, there was already allusions to the city and the universe and all that stuff and the bad magic, for lack of a better way to describe it. That's a thought one of the characters has. But it's the air and the control and the wind and the loop of time and all those things and why the city called him over, right? And so for me, it was like all that wouldn't happen without now introducing a human antagonist, right? I mean, the protagonists, I should say, were already in place since the very beginning of the book. And come to think of it, the antagonist was in place in the first paragraph, the city. But then what I had to do, what must have been done, I had to do it, was create something else to bring them together, right? And I didn't know it, but I was subconsciously laying the blueprint out, or drawing the blueprint for Brigandage, which is the program to control the world, and being 1978, and having more tech than we have now, right, more AI than we have now. It's a really interestingly modern world, but just at the very top of that pyramid. And so what I wanted to do was exploit that with the stranger's love for the dancer, because there was something else there that only he knew. and that gets revealed like on the final page of the book, or close enough. If you get the book, don't go to the last page because it will not make sense until you read at least 11 chapters. Or it might. Maybe I'm underestimating somebody, but I'm also overestimating my own naivety, or underestimating that too. Whatever. Anyway, I've been droning on and on and on here, so I'm going to go, and I'm going to get out of here and take care of the dogs and get some more of this delicious Mr. Coffee. Only it's a Mr. Coffee in disguise with really great grounded espresso. Son of a bitch. Okay, I'm out of here. Thank you for listening, if you have, and I'll talk to you in the brand new one. And as always, take good care.